everybody. Good afternoon. Thank you for being here this afternoon. I'm going to present you today Horizon Genomics. It's a public company, so I need to draw your attention to this legal notice looking for statements. Okay, so basically we're a public company in the Madrid Stock Exchange, where we are right now having a market cap of around 150 million euros. We have been raising money in the last 3 years, around 85 million euros. Last year with Jefferies, 20 million, which is basically, as you can see on our latest earnings, giving us a cash equivalence of $42 million, which should give us cash runway principal till the end of 2021. So what we do? What we do is basically we develop epigenetic drugs, first in class in the field of oncology and CNS disorders. And basically we are focused on LSD1. LSD1 is one of these enzymes which are able to remodel chromatin by adding or removing chemical groups, in this case methyl groups. Lysine-specific demethylase 1 was the first histone demethylase characterized back in 2014. And we know that it plays an important role in different biological processes from embryogenesis till adult life. But also we know now that it's involved in different pathological conditions, in different diseases, starting by cancer, but also inflammation, viral infections, and particularly in CNS, where it's responsible for neurogenesis during embryogenesis, and after birth is also responsible of the maturation of the neuronal system, migration, and other important aspects of the neuronal functioning. So, what you see here is a snapshot of our pipeline. As you can see, we have 2 assets in clinical stage, both in phase 2. One in oncology, iadademstat, and the other one in CNS, bafidemstat. IADA is being developed in oncology, in leukemia and small cell lung cancer. Bafi is being developed in different disorders. For the sake of time today, I will focus my presentation on the CNS part. I'm not going to talk about the oncology part. So in CNS, we have been exploring aggression on a set of psychiatric conditions, borderline personality disorder, ADHD, and autism. We are also exploring aggression in Alzheimer's, and we have another more conventional or canonical trial in phase 2 in Alzheimer's, mild to moderate, to see different symptoms or potentially disease modifying. So we are addressing aggression, as you can see, which is one of the core features of many psychiatric disorders, and is reason number 1 to institutionalize Alzheimer's patients. So in a big medical need and a big market opportunity. So how we face these problems, we are basically developing bafidemstat, which is a small molecule, is of course an LSD1 inhibitor. We have an excellent pharmacology, is orally bioavailable. We have got an abundant preclinical evidence in different animal models demonstrating improvements in a set of core features of different human disorders. It has an epigenetic mechanism of action which is dual, basically prosynaptic and anti-neuroinflammatory. It's safe in humans, it's highly brain penetrant, and we have demonstrated pharmacological activity in humans already. So what you see here in this cartoon is basically the idea of that bafidemstat in particular and LSD1 inhibition in general is good for memory. I mean, what you see here is the data that we have been producing on the SAM-PATE Alzheimer's model, where at several time points we are able to restore the memory on those animals. But this restoration is not only confined to this model. We got the same results in Huntington disease models, independent research done with our molecules in schizophrenia models as well, and competition with their own LSD1 inhibitor using their own mice model also proved that there is an improvement in memory. So cognition and memory is interesting to remark that it's not only confined or restricted to Alzheimer's or to dementia. It's also something that we see across different psychiatric disorders like autism, schizophrenia, depression, and others. But curiously, what we see here is that not only there's something wrong here. I mean, we should see this this movie playing, and you will have seen here the animals treated with our compound, which are basically peaceful, whereas the animals treated with the vehicle are very aggressive. So we are able to revert very strongly aggression on these particular animal models, and we are also able to address sociability. So these animals, if they are not able to aggress the others, are basically ignoring the other mice. When we treat them, basically they restore the sociability to the normal levels. So what we are here is producing a holistic change in memory, in aggression, in sociability. So a very holistic change in the way that the brain of these animals is working. So what's the mechanism of action? When we take bits and pieces of the brain of animal treaties and we do gene expression, what we see is that we induce the overexpression of genes involved in synaptic plasticity and in executive functioning, and we downregulate genes involved in neuroinflammation. So how it goes from these subtle changes on transcriptional programs to these dramatic changes on behavior that I was almost showing you. We have got the help here of external research. These are experiments done by Columbia University using a specific SID1A model, a schizophrenia model. The prefrontal cortex neurons of these animals, when they are cultured, as you can see, are almost naked, very poorly branched compared to the normal wild-type healthy neurons. So these neurons are really having difficulties to connect, to interact with the neighboring neurons. When they are treated, these neurons, with our LSD1 inhibitors, what we get is a rebranching. So basically, these changes on genes involved in synaptic plasticity correlates with changes in the anatomy of the neuron. And these animals, these schizophrenic animals, are also having problems on the circuitry. As you can see, the connections between the two brain hemispheres here are compromised. When these animals are treated with our compounds, again, this circuitry is reestablished. And not only that, when the animals are being tested for working memory tests, you see this is the performance of the transgenic animal, and then, as you can see, we come back to normal. So here what we get is basically changes on gene expression, which produce changes on the anatomy and the neurons, which produce changes on the circuitry, which produce changes on the functionality of the brain. Okay, so this is interesting because it's also paving the way for a personalized approach in psychiatry. So what we get is that SETD1A mutation, which is one of the common or the well-known causes of schizophrenia in humans, representing around 1% of the schizophrenic population, are having basically a distorted equilibrium on the methyl groups. When we are able to compensate that by inhibiting LSD1, we restore the original equilibrium and we restore the phenotype. Interestingly, we have characterized, we have identified patients already carrying these mutations, and therefore we have the opportunity to design right now clinical trials in this genetically selected patient population. Okay. Besides that, we have done a more canonical approach. So we were starting by the phase 1 safety study in healthy volunteers. It was safe, well tolerated, highly brain penetrant, and with a nice PK allowing once daily oral. Not only in healthy volunteers, also in the patients which have been involved so far in phase 2 is safe and well tolerated with more than 220 participants and a longer exposure so far to the drug of 15 months. So we wanted to see if we were able to replicate in humans what we have seen on the animals, on the control of aggression. So we did this Reimagine trial. It's a basket trial. It's an open-label, single-arm trial in 3 different indications: borderline, attention deficit and hyperactivity disorder, and autism. 30 patients in total, and we are measuring safety and tolerability as a first primary endpoint, and aggression by a number of well-validated scales, and overall status as secondary endpoints. So this trial was completed, and the data was presented last year in different medical conferences, and yes, we are able to reduce aggression on BPD patients, on ADHD patients, on autism patients, and in overall, measured by different scales like the MPI-AA or like the CGI scales. Not only we are able to control aggression on the patients, we are also producing an overall improvement measured by the MPI total score or by a specific disease scale like the borderline personality disorder checklist. So we get an effect on human patients which goes beyond the aggression. We are going to present in 2 months from now. We are right now starting to examine the data of a twin study that we have done, also measuring aggression, but this time in severe and moderate Alzheimer's patients. 6 months of treatment. So we have basically it's an open label single arm as the other previous study. We measure here safety and efficacy by different scales. So, and as I said, this is going to be presented in April at the ADPD conference. So we are going to prepare this year a phase 2b double-blind randomized placebo-controlled trial in aggression in BPD in Europe and in the US with approximately 100 patients. And besides that, we are also running for a long time already a more canonical trial, a trial in Alzheimer's disease, mild to moderate patients, 150 patients. This is a 12 months trial. The first 6 months is double-blind placebo control with 2 intervention arms. The second 6 months, we re-randomize the placebo to the intervention arms. We are measuring a number of biomarkers at CSF, at baseline, at 6 months and at 12 months. So we have concluded the recruitment on the European arm, on the European cohort, and we expect to present the 6 months data, or at least some of the 6 months data, also at the ADPD meeting. So we have reported previously that so far in this frail and old population, the drug is also safe, is also well tolerated. And we were, scanning very precisely at the baseline the different biomarkers that we are going to use on this trial. So we are in front of us. We are having in front of us a very rich news flow this year. What you see on the bottom are all the CNS conferences on the top, the oncology part that I didn't mention today. So we are going to present data of aggression in Alzheimer and interim in overall Alzheimer in Vienna. We are going to present additional data in AAIC and also at CTAD, and we expect to conclude the overall data of this trial in next year in Boston. So as a wrap-up, we are basically a differential epigenetic proposition. We are not only working on oncology like some of our peers, but also on CNS, where we are pioneering really the field. We are having already proof of efficacy in different symptoms of different disorders. We are on the position to start right now a phase 2b, a proof of concept trial in borderline personality disorder. And we are going to start also trials in genetically defined patients in different psychiatric indications. In oncology, again, we have 2 ongoing trials with the options to get accelerated approval. So a rich pipeline of clinical news, a cash-efficient company, a perseverance presence on the U.S. market. We aspirate to go to get dual listed in NASDAQ sometime soon. We have performed 3 PIPEs with 3 different U.S. banks in the last years. And we would be very happy to take any question if we have any time or if there is any question.